guys, next story up. So Jocelyn's Cabaret. Apparently they just shot the reunion, and the reunion was a whole bunch of fucking niggatry, which only can come from Jocelyn's Cabaret. I didn't even watch this last season because the first season was funny. The second season was like, why are you guys putting yourself through all of this? And the third season, I was just like, I ain't even going to support any of that. You know, the one downfall with Jocelyn is you have to be able to rein in her personality. Once she feels like she has so much power, she does not do well, okay? And she usually shows her ass. You know, it was the same way on Love and Hip Hop. Once she got to be this big personality and everybody loved her and all of that, you know, it went to her head, and she, you know, she just always has to flex that power. She is definitely a flexer. And then, so when you see her talking the way that she does to these women, first of all, I just don't understand why a woman would put themselves through that. But I do understand that people have all kind of aspirations. They want to be on TV at any cost. They'll do the reality show, you know, yada yada yada. But to go on Jocelyn's show, I don't know how you could keep your anger in check for the way that she talks to these women. And then of course the way that the women also are with each other. It's just sort of like, yeah. So I was already kind of feeling by the time they made it to the Las Vegas location that the show was about to start to turn, especially in the way that our world is today. You know, race relations and sexism and all of that. The fact that she is not a black woman, but she has all these black women on her show, and you know, the way she talks to them. And I was just like, this is not going to end well for her. So I could kind of see that this kind of shit was coming. And the shit that I'm talking about is the reunion. They had a big blow up fight. Okay. It hasn't aired on Zeus yet, but it will be coming. I'm assuming they're probably trying to figure out the best way they can edit this so that we don't just be like, oh my God, it was like a fucking circus there. And they've also got to make sure that they're not implied in the video that they were supporting such violence. All that they got to take into consideration. But apparently Jocelyn got into it with one of the girls. I believe her name is Amber. I'm not really familiar with the girls on there, but I believe this girl's name was Amber. A fight broke out between her and Amber. It seemed that maybe Jocelyn was getting beat up by Amber, and her boyfriend, fiance, whatever he is, Ballistic, jumped in. Never ever a good look. Okay, it ain't a good look to be fighting, period. But when you are a woman that's fighting a woman, that's one thing. Once a man jumps in there, it just fucks up it changes the whole scene. It changes everything. Because now you got an abuse situation. It ain't just a fight. No man should be really putting their hands on any woman. So that is one problem. Amber got onto live and was crying and saying that she got kicked. Her ribs were bruised. She was in the hospital, you know, and that she was going to press charges because Ballistic had put his hands on her. Now, Jocelyn, because like I said, the ego and the, you know, that personality, sometimes it just gets out of hand. For whatever reason, Jocelyn believes that when you sign a contract to be on a reality show, you know, you sign a contract saying that you won't sue anybody. Okay. And so Jocelyn seems to think that that holds her exempt from being charged with fighting with somebody. Now, it is still against the law to beat somebody, you know, to have a fight. I mean, the person can press charges, even if you have a contract that says that you can't. You know, what usually happens is if you press charges, then you got to get off the show. All right. And I would imagine that these girls ain't trying to come back to this show after this happened anyway. You know, now I'm not a lawyer, but you know, I got my rock star lawyers out there, and you guys can chime in and let me know, the real ones. But I would imagine that this girl could still definitely press charges. And you guys, it wasn't just that one girl. There was a number of girls that got hit, kicked, beat down, and let them tell it was from the hands of not only Jocelyn and Ballistic, but also from the security for Zeus. Okay, which makes things even worse, because now you have a production team that might have participated in these women getting their asses beat. And that's never ever a good look. Okay, so it's a big mess because Zeus has a successful show, Jocelyn's Cabaret. I'm assuming the show is probably #1 on their network. That has done very well, but you have to make sure that you keep your product from getting messy like this, because now it seems like them girls is determined to get. Now every time I go into social media, it's another girl that was there that's crying, saying how they got kicked in the head, they got kicked in the stomach, they got kicked in the chest, you know, all of this. And it's going to be bad. First of all, they're going to have to get rid of Ballistic. Secondly, they might have to get rid of the whole fucking show, you know. And I was just like, Jocelyn, you didn't let all of that ego get to your head and fuck up your money. Okay, and what do I always tell you guys? Don't fuck up your money. Don't fuck up your money. And the thing about it is, Jocelyn has not denied it. You guys, as a matter of fact, she tweeted. Let me read some of her tweets to you guys. She says, and she's just responding to the girl Amber, keep crying from your hospital bed with your broken ribs, one kick you flew into next day. And that's kick, K-I-K. And for you dumb bitches, when you sign up for a reality show, you cannot filed a lawsuit against anyone on the show. You dumb hoes, I believe that's what she says. You know, she loved to call somebody a hoe. I don't know. This younger generation, they call each other hoes and shit. Child, that right there would be, you know, grounds for fighting. Don't call me no fucking hoe. Okay, they talk so bad, but maybe it's that community, you know, maybe that's what they call each other. Then she says, keep crying from your hospital bed with your broken ribs, one kick you flew into the next day, rotten mouth asshole. Then she says, I Mortal Kombat one hoe, pimp slapped another one, pushed one into last night's episode, kicked, K-I-K-E-D, down a few on the ground. I slapped fire out of everyone on that stage. Me and my crew. Wait for it. And then she has Jocelyn's Cabaret, Las Vegas. Girl, that's it right there in that tweet. You done admitted to all of the shit. And you better believe that them girls is now coming out and saying where they got hit and kicked and punched and slapped fire out of and everything. It was a mistake to let this girl get up there on Twitter and admit to the shit. Because, see, Zeus really could have probably just tried to bury some of that footage. But, bitch, you didn't already agreed to it. You didn't told everybody what you did. You know, so that's what I'm saying, that she might lose that show. And that's going to be a shame, because that show has done well for her. You know, she seems to be doing very well financially. And, So now Zeus has come out and they have put out a statement because it's gotten that serious. And what they said is, the Zeus Network would like to thank all of our viewers for their continued support. While our programming remains authentic, loud, provocative, raw, unscripted, and uncensored, under no circumstances do we condone bullying, unprovoked violence, and men attacking women. Okay, we can find a flaw in that little sentence there, but anyway, currently we are conducting a thorough review of the events that took place during the Jocelyn's Cabaret reunion taping. The safety of our talent, crew, guests, and fans is our top priority. We encourage anyone who encounters violence of any kind to seek help from their local authorities or visit stopbullying.gov for free and confidential resources on how to seek help. Now, they're actually saying, because they're trying to get themselves off the hook, if you feel like you need to get in touch with the police, then that's what you need to go do. Okay? And make sure that, you know, you let them know that it wasn't us, it was the cast that was a part of it. And so they're trying to legally pull themselves out of the blame of this, but it's gonna be kind of bad for everybody. And like I said, them girls they is on it. They is on it. So evidently it's Amber, it's Cake Capri, it's Henny, it's Lexi. I think this is from Gaia. Is that her name? Gaia or whatever. I think that she tweeted. Not tweeted, she put on Instagram, I hope you all right. I'm in pain and I know Amber is too. So she was shouting out those girls. And like I said, every time I turn on, somebody's on there crying, saying what happened to them. So it's about to be some shit for Jocelyn, and it's gonna be unfortunate if it's so, because, you know, I thought that she was she was doing well with the show. And you cannot be going. First of all, you don't need to be beating up your crew and your cast. You shouldn't have security that's beating up your cast. It's just bad. It's just bad all the way around. And now Zeus has to do something. They have to be the responsible ones, and they might have to get rid of their #1 fucking show on their network. This new Bad Boys of Los Angeles that's coming, I think that's the name of the show. It is going to do well for Zeus as well, because this time we got a whole bunch of men that's willing to act, a fucking fool and be fighting and throwing drinks and doing all that like how the women do it. Except for the men have a whole bunch more testosterone behind it. So, we ain't never quite seen the men in this capacity. A big group of men living together, like, already know how that's going to be. So that show's going to do well for them, but they're going to have to change the tone of their shows, because they're not going to be wanting to be known as the violent, the show, the network that puts on all these violent ass bullying and all of that kind of show. It's going to be bad for them. So they're going to have to rebrand and regroup and do something different. And unfortunately, so it might come at the cost of Joseline's show. What do you guys think, though? She is out of control. Out of control, and she might need to get knocked back a peg or two. We'll see what happens, but I don't see it lasting, y'all. All right, you guys, so next story up. So they say that your girls Ty and Mimi have broken up again, you guys. And why do they say that? Well, first of all, we saw that the girls got back together on Valentine's Day just last month. Okay, almost exactly a month from today. They had a little shindig at a restaurant somewhere, and Ty gave her a beautiful ring, and we all at least thought that meant that they were back together, and not only back together, but engaged to get married. They were engaged before, and I think Mimi broke it off, and they made it back to each other, and I was happy for them. They seemed to love each other, and they seemed to be happy with each other, so I was like, okay, good for them. Okay, well, fast forward a month later. Evidently Ty is in Los Angeles, and somebody caught her. Of course, they was on the DL. She had no idea. She was being recorded talking to another woman, and the woman kind of had her hand on her waist. Now, to me, it didn't look like it was anything really intimate. All right. The girl could have been standing there, maybe was trying to talk to her. We only see her for a few seconds. And it didn't seem like they was just really kind of like all on each other. Yes, her hand was on her waist, but it still didn't seem like, it still seemed like you could probably explain yourself out of that situation. So I didn't think much of it, but you know how people are. So immediately it got on social media, and they said, oh, Ty's out there cheating on Mimi and all of that. Okay, so then Ty, she goes on Instagram later and she puts something like, change the scenery to change the energy or something like that. Kind of giving you the impression that maybe she was saying that her and Mimi weren't together and that she was with this girl. But she also comes back out again and says that, that was not anything going on in that picture. It was just a friend. It wasn't anything happening. But even if it were something happening, it wouldn't matter because she is a single woman. Okay. And we was like, wait a minute, rewinded, girl, because didn't we just see y'all have this big shindig, like I said, where you gave her this ring? Well, evidently you guys, in a month, them two had broken up. Or at least that's what Ty was saying. Now, everybody was like, bitch, you lying. You did not break up. You got caught, now you're trying to save face and everything. But you guys know your girl Mimi, who is always in her Zen mode these days. She got on Instagram and she started waxing poetical and saying different things to lead you to believe that, yes, maybe her and Ty had broken up. I said, well, damn, y'all didn't stay together long, huh? I mean, because 2 weeks maybe, and then she went to LA, and then she had another week to meet somebody. So Mimi posts something. One of the posters she said, don't be afraid to start all over again. You may like your new story better. So, she's come out. She said she wishes Ty the best and all of that. No hard feelings, things like that. I think Mimi has learned now that she's not going to say anything in social media anymore that she needs to be having to always go back and correct herself and shit. So now she's just going to be like, I'm good. It's all good. Okay. And maybe handle her private life privately. But yeah, you know, Mimi was like, yeah, we not together. Ty say they not together, and fuck it, if they say they not together, then they not together, and I can't worry no more else about it. You guys. But damn, just a month and that shit was over. Maybe they didn't need to get back together in the first place, and maybe they realized that. I mean, sometimes that happens too. You know, you be blinded by that ring, never, because y'all, I'm a sucker for a ring. I loves me a ring. But you know, once the dust settles and everything, you be like, fuck. You know, you be thinking at the house, you know, pouring your coffee, and then you just sit there and you just be like, yeah, maybe that wasn't the right decision. And maybe that's the conclusion that they both came to. You know, I like them both. So, you know, and they'd be all right. They both cute women. And they're going to land on their feet. They'll meet somebody else. He'll look like Ty already has. Anyway, you guys, yeah, it's okay. They both seem to be happy to be away from each other. And look at this. We done talked about Mimi, we done talked about Jocelyn, and now we talking about Stevie J. Ain't that a coinky dinky? You guys, and I'm sure you guys already saw the video or saw part of the footage from the interview that was being conducted. I don't know who was interviewing Stevie J, but all I do know is that Stevie J was high as giraffe puss, and he was trying to conduct an interview. Well, this girl, shout out to her, who was gonna get the interview at any cost, she had to actually sit through and have a conversation with him, or try to have a conversation with him, while he was there entertaining some woman. Okay. And we're going to assume that it wasn't his wife, Faith, even though they are going through a divorce. They aren't divorced yet. And just a fucking disrespectful ass mess. Disrespectful to your wife, disrespectful to the interviewer who is sitting there trying to have, you know, a bona fide question and answer session with you. Disrespectful to the girl, even though she didn't seem to be all that concerned about it, as she was giving him a blowjob on, well, she wasn't on camera. We saw her hand. Okay, but I know some of you investigators out there, honey, y'all could probably figure out who that was just from her fingertips. But she didn't seem to mind that he was recording this interview while she was servicing him. It was just really, really embarrassing. It was to the point where I was getting secondhand embarrassment. The girl that was giving the interview, though, she never let it shake her. She was just like, oh my God, that's a hand that I see. Like, really, what are you doing? I mean, she never really said what you doing, but yeah, it was just terrible. And the fact that he kept on talking about his beefcake. I mean, I was waiting for him to just come out and be like, you want to come give me a blowjob and fuck me too? You know? That's how high he was. And everything, you know, when he was talking, he was all like this. And he is looking up at, and every now and then he kind of would roll his eyes and kind of put his head back, and he's looking down at the girl. It was terrible. And like I said, just disrespectful to everybody involved, including himself. You know, probably once he sobered up and really thought about it, or maybe in the future when he really sobers up for good. Because I still have hope that Stevie J will get them drugs under control. But when in the future, when he does sober up for good, let's hope that he'll look back on that and be quite ashamed, because he should be. Okay, just clownery. It's just clown shit. And you cannot be, as a grown-ass man, I mean, Stevie J is my age. You cannot be on no interview doing shit like this. Okay? It's just, this is not the way to make yourself look better. And I feel like Stevie J has never gotten a handle on his drug situation. It probably was good that Mimi and Jocelyn, even though, because Jocelyn also has a drug problem, it feels like maybe her drug problem might have ramped up again since she's gotten this, you know, this notoriety on her show. At one point, I thought that maybe she had gotten it under control and was more concerned about her health. You guys remember she was working out and all of that. But once that ego gets out of hand again, you know, you go back to many of the old vices that you had. So I kind of feel like Jocelyn is probably back on that shit. I feel like Stevie J ain't never really got off the shit. And then, of course, him and Faith Evans hooking up. And we know that she also struggles with her addiction issues. That probably wasn't the best union to happen. I mean, you can't help who you fall in love with, but you know, of course, when you both are weak in your addiction struggles and then you get together, you know, that could very easily fall apart. And I just feel like Stevie J is still not winning that addiction battle. Like, I feel like, I don't even know if he wants to, but it's a terrible look for a grown-ass man who has been so successful in the past, and for it to just kind of end like, I mean, it ain't at his end, but for it to continue like this, you know? So I'm just hoping that he gets that, I hope he gets that drug situation under control, because once he does, then he won't resort to doing shit like this again. This is just awful, you guys. Did you see the video? What did you guys think about it? You guys, next story. So it seems last Sunday, TomBrady took to social media and said that he will return to the game of football to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for his 23rd season as a quarterback. Okay, he said that he has unfinished business, and I quote, "These past 2 months, I've realized my place is still on the field and not in the stands. That time will come, but it's not now. I love my teammates and I love my supportive family. They make it all possible. I'm coming back for my 23rd season in Tampa," end quote. Okay. In other words, you know, the nigga got to the house, him and Giselle and them kids, and he got on their nerves, they got on his nerves, and he probably thought to himself, like, damn, am I really about to just do this for the rest of my life when I feel like I still got it in me to get out there and throw the ball around a little bit? Okay, fuck, I'm TomBrady. What I'm doing here with these damn kids? You know, a lot of people have remorse when they retire, especially high-achieving sports players. Remember what happened with Michael Jordan? It was the same situation. Michael Jordan, I think, well, it's not the same. He kind of retired because he was so emotional over his father's death. TomBrady didn't have anything traumatic like that happen to him, but sometimes when you go out and it might not necessarily be on the terms that you wanted to go out, I think that's when people get regret, and they feel like maybe they can return to, you know, the former glory years. Now, it didn't work out that well for Michael Jordan. I mean, you know, he came back, he played for Charlotte. He never got to he's always going to be Michael Jordan. Okay. Wherever he is, he's still that superstar, but you know, it wasn't to the level what he was when he was in Chicago. Well, I don't know if it'll be the same for TomBrady. Y'all know I don't know shit about football, but my son was just like, oh my, he could still play. He could definitely still be a quarterback for Tampa Bay. He still got it in him, and they ain't gonna let nothing happen to TomBrady, you know? So, I mean, I guess if you can still play the game and you can still make your millions of dollars, you know, and it probably ain't even about the money. It's probably just the fact that he just don't know what else to do with his life other than going and playing football, you know? So, I mean, I guess I'm sure Tampa Bay is glad to have him back. You know, maybe not the quarterback that was going to be playing in his place, because now you know they're not going to bring TomBrady back in any other capacity other than starter. So maybe that person that kind of got, you know, the wind knocked out of his sails, because now he kind of got to go back. You know, it's a business, and TomBrady is their star. So I'm assuming that he's going to be, you know, there front and center. I'm sure that the fans are happy, you know, at least the fans of his, you know, so I guess it's a win-win, you guys. But I'm gonna need my rock stars who, you know, who's heavy in that NFL, who knows about the ins and outs of the football. I mean, what y'all think about it? Do you think that he needed to do this? Should he have retired in the first place? I mean, he retired for a month? Child, when you only gone for a month, you ain't even gave yourself chance to see how it is, you know, just sitting back and enjoying your retirement. So maybe he just didn't really want to go, and something just kind of got in him to do it. But then he woke up and smelled the coffee and was like, oh no, I got to, you know, unfinished business, like he said. But y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Y'all happy that your boy is returning? And lastly, you guys, I just wanted to say that I saw Wendy Williams on Good Morning America this morning, and I didn't see her. Let me take that back. I heard her voice. She actually called in for a telephone interview. She was not on camera, but Wendy Williams seems to believe that she will be back on the Wendy Williams show. According to her, let these next 3 months or so pass because she has some things that she still needs to take care of. Nothing that has to do with her health, okay, or her mentality, but there's some things, I guess, as far as her business is concerned that she needs to take care of. And then she, as far as she's concerned, she's ready to get back out there to her purple chair on the Wendy Williams show. I was like, girl, it ain't gonna be much room in there because baby, they done gave your chair away. So I don't really know how this is going to work, you know, but Wendy says that she has the mind and the body of a 25-year-old. I said, Wendy. Now, you know I'm always going to be there for you, girl, but no, okay? We you know, they always tell us, girl, you know, 40 is the new, 50 is the new. No, honey, 50 is 50, okay? And 40 is 40, and 30 is 30. You know, enjoy your years wherever you are in it, but don't be trying to make it the new nothing, because, baby, 50 is 50, and Wendy is 57 years old, and, you know, I think all of that she meant to say was that she's ready to come back, but I don't know what legally has to happen now for all of that to happen, considering that the production company has given her show to Sherry Shepherd. You know, she talked about her case that's going on with Wells Fargo, and that is still ongoing. They feel that she needs a guardian over her money, and she was like, absolutely not. I want to have access to my money because it's my damn money. I worked hard for it, and I don't blame her. So I guess in these next 3 months, that's probably the biggest part of what she needs to take care of, making sure that she gets a hold of her money. But yeah, you guys, I mean, let Wendy tell her. She say she coming. Wendy say she coming. So, but she didn't say exactly in what capacity. I still feel like she could get a mega deal on a podcast. I know somebody has to be wanting to get Wendy Williams on them kind of airwaves, you know, so maybe that is what she means when she says that she'll be back to the Wendy Williams show. We might not see her, we'll just hear her. And you know, really, that might work out best for everybody. You know, she was on radio. It was an adjustment for her to be on TV. Of course, people are always so critical of how she looks when she has her good days, when she has her bad days. It don't matter. You are on TV and people can see it. You know, when you go back to the podcast, you don't necessarily have to be on camera. I mean, you know, they do still stream podcasts. You can see the videos and everything, but it'll still be different. If she's on a podcast, for the most part, people will listen to her on that podcast airwave. So that might be something that she can do, and, you know, just parlay it into something else, you know. So much has happened now with her and the Debmar family. Like, is it even good? You know, is everybody still getting along okay? I mean, can you guys call? Can you can they come to the barbecue? Like, is everybody good, or is it a lot of tension? You know, we still don't really know what goes on with Wendy Williams and the rest of her cast and crew and all of that. So we're still pretty much in the air, but she has told us now, and we're starting to hear from her more and more, that she's ready to come back. But we'll see if that really happens for her. Okay, what you guys think though? Y'all think Wendy can make it on podcasts? I think that's the way of the future. Guys, let me get off of here, get on back to work. I think I have a meeting, you guys, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, we do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.